Well, you see under the hood is absolutely amazing, very well done job. But now we're going to take a look at the inside. And the inside is a little tricky because anytime you're dealing with white interior, any imperfections jump out at you. This car is so nicely done inside. I was quite impressed. And you also get to hear some of the things he had to go through to get what he has. Okay, let's have a look at that white interior.
Sure. Sorry, I was just driving this. Let me move some of my stuff here. So yeah, this is all from Legendary Auto.
That dashboard looks perfect.
Yep, dashboard is great. Seats are very comfortable. Surprisingly, for being such a big car, there's not a lot of leg room in the car. And I'm a shorter guy. I'm only 5'10". But yeah, the car is great. The radio actually, it's an original radio that I found in a junkyard that I met the guys down in Pennsylvania. Mike and Chris, they own Retro Radio. They actually converted that to FM, and it's got an iPod. I can plug in an iPod or an MP3 player. So that's nice to have other than AM radio, as what this car originally had.
So now, did all of the interior pieces come from Legendary?
All the soft pieces, the pads, the panels, these did not. I'll be honest with you, I can't stand these reproduction. I can't stand the reproduction armrest pads, but you know, you can't find nice white ones. So what I'm going to have to do, the headrests actually are originals that I found that aren't lumpy or bumpy, and they were actually white ones that I had resprayed to match the interior. And so I'm just going to have to find some white armrest pads with the ashtrays for the back, and I'll just have to get those resprayed. But yeah, this one, unfortunately, this was all that I could find and was available at the time. So.
Well, pretty well for a car that is so rare.
Yep, yep.
Now, was the dashboard done at Graveyard Cars, or did you?
No, that was sent out to Instrument Specialties, and they did all the gauges and so on. And they helped. They had a couple little issues. I had my one friend Dave Paddock check it out in Florida. He got a couple things worked out. Instrument Specialties was great, but it was just a time frame crunch. So I sent some stuff to Dave. He looked at it and got so everything is worked out nice. Yep.
Okay, the trunk.
The trunk.
You hear that they don't have
junk in it. So.
Hey, who doesn't have junk in the trunk?
Yeah.
But here the opening of them are quite small.
Oh my God. Yeah. Let me get these out of here. Yeah, sorry. You can tell I was at a car show.
Real people put stuff in the trunks of their cars.
Yep. Yeah, this is very tiny. This was actually from Mr. Norm. I was at Fairfield Dodge for a show, and Mr. Norm was there, so I had him sign the cover here for the headlights, or the tail lights. But yeah, this is very, very tiny. And what they did is, this was all a window plug that was welded in to make this like a, so this was all, as you see, let me see which side is a little better to see maybe. Yeah, actually if you come over here and use the shadow, you can see this. That a lot of people, see where the shadow line is?
Yes.
That is about where the original glass was in the Charger. That's why the headliner kind of bends and the package tray bends. And what they did is sometimes they removed the glass or they just smashed it out of the way. And some cars were known to have little bits of the rear glass still in the frame. And then all of this is a welded in plug, they call it, to make this the fastback like the Charger 500s. And then they put this in, they put the rear window in and the trim. So made it a fastback. And all they did here was they just took a saw essentially and cut the trunk lid short, and you could see all they did was fold the end over here, and they just welded this little piece on to cap off the end of it. So this is just bent over metal from what was the trunk lid when it was a Charger.
Wow.
And they made it a lot shorter. So yeah, it's very tiny to get into. One of the things that you learn right away with having a wing car is be careful when you go into the trunk, because you get a major lobotomy when you hit the edge of this with your head, or if you go to close it like this, you jam your hands in here. So yes, when you close this, you grab it here or somewhere else to make sure you don't pinch your fingers or smash your head. And you learn real quick.
Now, is that a metal wing or is it fiberglass?
This is actually hollow aircraft aluminum. And it's actually a bit heavier than you would think, being hollow aluminum. Now, these wings did tilt, but what we decided when they were doing my car, being it's a steel bolt in the aluminum, they were trying to loosen it up, but we didn't want to break anything. And I thought, really, you know, am I really going to be tearing down the road at 160 miles an hour? So rather than break it, I said just leave it and paint it the way that it is. But yeah, these are hollow, and underneath this whole wing, for the downforce, so the top of this didn't buckle, is there's actually a reinforcing plate that just got spot welded to the rain gutter right here. So it's just a big steel plate, and the bolts go through, and then there's move this box, there's this brace which goes from the wing and it goes down to the floor here to stiffen this whole area.
Let's see if I can just lay down in the trunk and pick that up.
There's this brace right here which is bolted to this plate, and it goes down and it gets to the floor.
And they never had a problem with those?
I guess not. We've seen all those pictures of the women in their bikinis sitting across the top of it.
That's true.
So, yeah. I won't get in my bikini and sit across the top of it, but...
And we're grateful for that.
But, yeah, I guess I don't have the nerve to try it right now, but, you know, maybe someday.
We'll just take it on faith.
Right, right. And it had 2 jacking instructions in these cars versus a Charger, because it came with 2 jacks. I don't have mine in here. It had the regular bumper jack, okay, which was used back here, but then it also came with a scissors jack in case you had to jack up the front of the car.
Oh.
So I do have the scissors jack. I'm still looking for the correct date code bumper jack for myself. And when I find it, you know, then I'll get them both in the car. Until that time, it's no big deal with me. But yeah, they had that, and then they had the second jacking instructions also. So yeah, it came with 2.
Oh, you have more signatures in here, I just noticed.
Yep.
What do we have here?
These was Don Coscarelli from the Phantasm show. This was Tom Wopat from Dukes of Hazzard. And I helped get Bill Goldberg on the Graveyard Cars show. I sent him some stuff, and he and I talked and put him in touch with Mark, so that was Bill Goldberg's signature.
Wow.
Yep. So it was a lot of fun.
Car's been in good company.
Yep. So, and just trying to find things like, you know, a correct plate. Even though the registration sticker on this says 1 of 69, I didn't really care. At least it said from 1969. Same as my inspection sticker. You know, that I was at a car show, and a guy came around. And I know there's reproductions, but the reproductions, you can see the fonts are kind of pixelated, and this is much smoother. So, yeah, this was an original, and I stamped it 8/9 of 69, just kind of sloppy, just to kind of go with the era of the car.
That's pretty neat.
Yep. So I'm very happy with the car. Very happy with the job they did on the car, and I just enjoy driving it, and you get a lot of looks, that's for sure.